How's it going, you big beautiful bastards? Welcome back to another video. Today we are here to simulate the career of the #1 overall pick from the 2025 NFL Draft, Cam Ward. So I was going back and forth a little bit on where I wanted to start, if I wanted to do the rookies coming up or if I wanted to go right into historical. I decided we're going to do the rookies. We're going to at least do two of them. The top two picks, obviously Cam Ward, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter I think I should have done first, but Cam Ward we're going to start because he is the #1 overall pick and he does, I feel like doesn't get a lot of media attention. So Cam Ward I think is going to be a good quarterback. The problem is with his rookie season is the surrounding cast. Calvin Ridley, sure, good receiver. He's at a point, what is he? He's got to be 30 something now, right? Or is he still in his 20s? Did he get into the league that young? 30 on the dot. So he's getting kind of old to be your receiver one. On top of that, even older at your receiver two, you have Tyler Lockett. Okonkwo is a decent tight end. Again, there's just not a lot of pop on this offense. The offensive line isn't great. Kevin Zeitler's okay, pretty good, but he's old. The problem is Dan Moore, you overpaid and paid Dan Moore 4 years, $80-something million, which still doesn't make sense to me. And that's your blindside blocker for your quarterback. Tony Pollard still isn't bad. I'll give him that. That's about the only bright spot on this offense is Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. Defensively, I mean, Justin Simmons is good, L'Jarius Sneed is good, but other than that, again, there's just not a lot of bright spots on this team, so I expect it to start rough. I don't expect it to go good off the bat. Hopefully, Brian Callahan gets fired somewhere along the way. We come in as a new coach instead of Brian Callahan, because I don't know if Brian Callahan's the team that's going to lead this team to the playoffs, to a Super Bowl. As we get into this, though, the NFL season is just around the corner. We are 2 weeks out. College football starts this coming weekend. It is currently Monday when I'm recording this. You'll probably see this video tomorrow, honestly, because the goal is to record it, edit it. I wanted to get one out this past weekend. Things didn't work out that way. I just didn't. That's on me. I just didn't take the time to make the video. But yeah, so this is like our first real player sim in Madden 26. It's our first real player sim in like 9-10 months. I haven't done one in a long time. Kind of excited. I don't know how quarterbacks play in this. I don't know how much playbooks interfere with the sims and everything, you know, because last year we could have thrown Chiefs playbook on and it would have made whatever quarterback we had to look like an absolute dog, and we got fired. Yep, that was to be expected. We'll go look at the standings, see how the Titans did this year. AFC South, we went 7-10. That was enough to fire Brian Callahan. I mean, we were off to a hot start. We were 7-6 and they went on a 4-game losing streak to end the season. 2-7 at home is so sad, dude. Any game in Tennessee, they were just guaranteed to lose. We'll go take a look, see how Cam Ward did in his rookie season. Cam in his rookie season was a bit of an interception machine. 18 interceptions to 27 touchdowns, 3,400 yards, so not a crazy season out of him. I mean, he was sacked 43 times. I'm sure he had some rushing stats. It looks like he had 90 attempts for 274 and 2 touchdowns. Again, not a great season. Top receivers, he targeted Tyler Lockett a lot. Tyler Lockett had 10 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley, your #1 receiver, only had 1 touchdown, and that's, again, I go back to this team needs a lot of receiver help. So yeah, we'll simulate on to the second season. We'll take over as the new coach. So I'm simming up to the draft. We're going to jump back in as the new head coach. We're going to sim past the draft because watching it, it's going to want me to make my own picks. So we're going to simulate forward to the end of the draft. Look at our draft recap. See if maybe they did decide to go receiver in the first round to help out Cam Ward. Is that going to happen? Probably not. I feel like this team is kind of destined to not be great for a good amount of time now. I feel like if with Mike Vrabel as head coach, they couldn't get over the hump that they were stuck at, then they're kind of destined to be stuck there for a little while longer. We'll see who they hired as head coach. I don't know if clicking real life coach, okay, it doesn't just automatically take me in as Brian Callahan. That's good. It takes us in as Christopher Torres, the new head coach of the Tennessee Titans. He still uses Tennessee's playbooks. They actually have Will Levis starting over Cam Ward now, and that's just not gonna happen. We'll simulate the draft real quick, and then we'll go look at who they drafted. We did see there it had Will Levis listed as a starter. That's not happening. I will cut Will Levis long before I let him start over Cam Ward. Let's look at our draft recap. We ended up going with, they didn't draft a single wide receiver. They went with an edge rusher. He was a 75 overall, a 77 corner, so they went straight defense. We did get some tackles, but they're not gonna be immediate starters. They're a 4th and a 7th round pick, and then a 7th round tight end. But again, why are we not getting Cam Ward help? There better be some plans for free agency then. They currently they're trying to have Will Levis start over Cam Ward. That is not happening. Cam Ward is already a higher overall, and we got 0 receiver for help and lost Tyler Lockett. Okonkwo moved up to superstar dev. We did get Wyatt Teller as superstar dev, but the offensive line is still mid. JC Latham, Cushenberry, Skoronski, and Dan Moore. Calvin Ridley, they did sign Gabe Davis, so that it's, I guess, a little bit of help. And Keyshawn Booty is still, Boutte, I don't know how you say it. I don't know. That's our receiver too now. Tyler Lockett's gone. L'Jarius Sneed unlocked an X factor. Defensively, it doesn't look like a whole lot changed. There was no splash signings or anything, so it's probably going to be a repeat year for the Titans. And we got fired back-to-back seasons. Okay, so we were mid again. I wonder if they were even worse than 7-10 for him to get fired after one season. Before we look at the record, well, look, Cam Ward, 31-62 passing, 21 touchdowns to 20 INTs. So he's just not progressing the way that you'd want him to. Rushing, he had 258 and a touchdown. So he had 2 more touchdowns than turnovers this season. Well, that's not true because he could have lost a bunch of fumbles. Receiving, Calvin Ridley was the leading receiver. We didn't have a single receiver go over 1,000 yards. I mean, he spread the ball out well touchdown-wise. Gabe Davis had a big year, but it's just not coming together in year 2. But that's kind of to be expected. I think Cam Ward is going to be good, but my problem is with Cam Ward is I don't think that he is in the right position. They went 4-13. I don't think Brian Callahan's a coach that's going to make him better. I think it's going to take a few years before the Cam Ward experiment really takes off, but I do think it will. We'll sim to next year's draft and then jump in as the new head coach. So now in 3 years, we're going to have 3 coaches. That's not a great way to start Cam Ward's career. They're kind of just throwing him into the dumpster. Yeah, last season we had the 31st ranked offense, basically last in the league in passing. So now we get Deuce Douglas, who's still using Tennessee playbooks. He has a heavy favorability on offense though, which is a good thing for us, because if that means anything, maybe they'll go heavy offense in this draft. We'll take a look at our draft real quick. Hopefully they're smart enough to draft a receiver this season, but for some reason I don't think they are. Look at that, left edge, center, strong safety, halfback. They didn't draft a wide receiver until the 5th round. He's a 71 overall with 91 speed, so maybe Nick Soto has some potential. Chip Goodwell at tight end, a 68 overall in the 6th round. Again, not a lot of impact guys. A new center is good, especially he's a 76, so we will see. Looking at the lineup going into preseason week 1, Cam Ward is currently the only quarterback on the roster. Tajay Spears is now the starting running back. Calvin Ridley's a 78. Cam Ward did not go up a single overall. Why is it not upgrading my players? That's why. It's not spending the points. Auto progress players is automatically turned off. That's why. Okay, so we just haven't been upgrading our guys. So now Cam Ward should be a higher overall, and we should be in a better situation going into year 3. There we go. So Cam Ward is up to an 81. He is only star dev. Tajay Spears is up to an 83. Dan Moore is a 78. Wyatt Teller's still an 80. Our center we just drafted is actually not even gonna play. He's not even in the starting lineup, or he should be actually, because he was a 76, so he should be in that conversation. Gabe Davis is a 77. Calvin Ridley is still here at a 79. We still have Ao Manor. I don't know how to say his last name, to be completely honest. Our safety position is really bad. We still have L'Jarius Sneed, Rodney McCreary, and again, nothing's really changed. We did change to a 4-3 defense, it looks like, from a 3-4. So we'll simulate to the playoffs in year 3, see if our new head coach, Doug, I don't know his first name, I think it was Davison? I don't know. His last name's Douglas. We got fired again. 3 years in a row. We're going to have a 4th head coach in 4 years for Cam Ward. That's just ridiculous. We went 3-14. The team got better, and we somehow managed to only win 3 games. We didn't win a single game at home. I don't know why this team's so bad at home. Cam Ward this season a little better. 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. He just can't get that number down interception-wise. Rushing 357 and 2 touchdowns for Cam. Receiving, Gabe Davis was our leading receiver with 980 and 9 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley had 950 something and 4 touchdowns. Okonkwo 4 touchdowns and almost 700 yards receiving. There's really just not a lot going on for this team right now. And again, I go back to, we need to draft a receiver and make a change. We'll sim to the draft, jump in as the new head coach of the Tennessee Titans. One of these times I'm just going to make my own coach so that he actually supports Cam Ward if he stays here past his 5th year. All right, Deuce Douglas is gone. On to the next head coach for the Titans. 4 head coaches in 4 years with a rookie quarterback that at the start of it's not looking too hot for this team. They hired David Brown, still using the Tennessee playbooks. He is at least a higher level. He has a heavy focus on defense though, not offense, which it might help us win games, but it's not going to help Cam Ward. Simulate the draft. I'm going to hope that they are smart enough that they need to draft a wide receiver when Calvin Ridley's been your receiver 1 for your first overall pick quarterback for this long, but we'll see. It probably won't happen. So they ended up taking a left tackle, 75 overall. That's not bad. We did get a 75 tight end in Tyler Estrada. And again, we didn't draft a receiver until the 6th round. He's a 70 overall, though, with 94 speed, so he could progress. Marquise McLean. Again, not much has changed. Still Skaronsi, JC Latham. Callahan, the center we drafted last year, is now the starting center. Cam Ward is up to an 83. Tajay Spears is an 84. We still have Gabe Davis at receiver 2. Keishon Butte has moved up to an 81 overall in receiver 1. And then Okonkwo's up to an 80. Defensively, have we gotten any better? We at least got better at safety. McCreary has moved up to corner 1. L'Jarius Sneed is back down to star dev, and he is corner 2. And we've moved back to a 3-4 defense. It's just, again, this team is making no effort to get better at all. We'll sim to the playoffs, and in Cam Ward's 5th year, he'll probably have a new head coach. He's just going to have a new head coach every year because the Titans are a dumpster fire. So I don't know if they boosted something with coach firing this year, but somehow we got fired again. So again, yeah, Cam Ward's going to have a 5th head coach in 5 years. We went 7-10. That's not a bad season for a first-year head coach. I don't understand. Like, did they just fuck up simulating this year? Cam Ward this season, 3,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 15 INTs. Nothing too crazy. Rushing-wise, he had 83 carries for 353 and 3 touchdowns. So again, he just can't get those interception numbers down, but that is his best season so far interception-wise. Our best receiver was actually Keishon Butte with 7 touchdowns and almost 1,200 yards. That's our first 1,000-yard receiver. Gabe Davis had 921 and 11 touchdowns. DK had 4 touchdowns and almost 800 receiving. And now we get Darren Young coming in here as the head coach. Once again, defensive-minded coach. This just isn't working with our young quarterback, but you know what? It's the Tennessee way. So Tennessee, here we go. We'll say the offense got better last season. We were 17th in points per game and 12th in passing, so the offense did improve. We'll simulate the draft. Maybe this is the year we draft a receiver. Actually, we did something. This team, okay, so for one, we moved on from Dan Moore. Big step up. The offensive line has improved. Okonkwo is an 83. We signed Smitty. Devonta Smith is now our receiver 1 at a 90 overall. On top of that, Tajay Spears is up to an 85. Cam Ward is all the way up to an 87. Keishon Butte is an 84. So the receiving core got better. Smitty should make a big difference for this team, and hopefully this is the first year that we don't see a head coach get fired. Simulate to the playoffs here, and as we go through this part of the sim, I do want to say I appreciate all you guys for watching. If you are enjoying, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And just give me your hot takes. What are the hot takes this year for the NFL season? We haven't seen a level up screen here. We didn't get fired, but we didn't make the playoffs. We went 8-9. His best season so far. We actually had the 9th rated passing offense, which again, huge improvement from where we were years prior. So Smitty made a difference. We get to keep a coach. Darren Young actually held it together. We'll go take a look and see if Cam Ward got a new contract or if we are on the last bit of our, if maybe he leaves after this season. So we did sign an extension. We have 3 more years here at least. Well, I think maybe 2 after this. Maybe only 2. It's not a big contract, but given we didn't have many good years, this was the first really decent year that he's had. So we'll go take a look standing wise where we finish. We at least know we didn't make the playoffs already, but we didn't get fired, and that's a good sign. That's the AFC North. I wanted South. So we weren't last in the division. We were actually 2nd in the division at 8-9. Cam Ward this season, 4,000 yards for the first time in his career, 26 touchdowns and 7 INTs. So he has figured out his turnover problem to an extent. Rushing wise, he actually had a down rushing. No, not really. 307 and 5 touchdowns. We just had Marquise Ellison, who stepped up as RB2 and had 426 and 5 touchdowns as well. Tajay Spears taking over as RB1. Receiving, I'm assuming Keishon Butte had more receiving yards than Smitty. 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns. Smitty only had 1,005 and 3 touchdowns. DK had 8 touchdowns and 977. Okonkwo 6 touchdowns and 700 yards. Pretty good season out of the team. Like I said, we didn't end up making the playoffs, but we did finally not have a coach get fired. So going into year 6, Cam Ward is going to finally have a set head coach for 2 years in a row, and we'll go to the draft, see if maybe we bring in another receiver to help out Smitty and them. I doubt it. This team doesn't seem to like drafting receivers. To be fair, they haven't been very good at it in the past couple of years, so I kind of get it. Draft recap, please show me receiver. Number 1 pick, left tackle. We drafted a quarterback. That's not a good sign. Drafted a quarterback in the 2nd. He's a 75 overall, but we did not draft a receiver. We did get a new left tackle. Again, that's the 2nd year in a row we picked left tackle in the 1st round. On to the playoffs in our, what is this, 6th year, 7th year? I think this would be year 7. No, year 6. We'll have to look after this. I think this is year 6. Oh, and as I'm sitting here recording this, Trey Hendrickson just got his deal up. Nope, it's not even an extension. They just gave him a raise for the season. So they're just delaying what's inevitably going to be a problem next year. Oh, we didn't get fired again. We got XP. We didn't make the playoffs, though. 8-9. The passing game declined a lot. We were 22nd in the league. That's not good. I didn't look at the roster before I simulated that season, but we'll go take a look here. We know we finished 8-9. Yeah, Cam Ward had a bit of a decline this year. He had 3,600 yards after his first 4,000-yard season, 28 touchdowns and 8 picks on a 69% completion percentage. Rushing, he had 327 and 7 rushing touchdowns. Top receivers, DK has been a top receiver for this team. Smitty's all the way down here at third with 850 and 5 touchdowns. Keyshawn Boutte 9 touchdowns and 906 receiving, 928 for DK and 7 touchdowns. So yeah, that was his 6th year. He is up to 28. He'll be 29 going into next season. I don't want to edit him. I clicked the wrong thing. I meant to go to stats and contracts so that we could see how much longer he is here for. Wow, the interface in this game is horrible. Why do I have to go through a loading screen every time for something? Can we fix that one of these years? That'd be really cool. This was his best year passer rating wise at a 108.5. Contracts, we actually still have one more season after this one remaining. Similarly to the draft, see if maybe this is the year we decide to go receiver. It's probably not. We're probably going to lose Smitty, and this team's just going to go straight into the dumpster, and we're going to get fired again. It just hasn't been a good start to the career for Cam Ward 6 years in. Going into year 7, hopefully they can make a difference. That scream definitely just got picked up by my mic. So as we go into the draft, we'll take a look at the team. We do still have Smitty. He's an 86 with a -3 morale boost. We still have DK. We still have Boutte. We have lost a Conquo, and Estrada has stepped up as tight end 1. The line has gotten better. This offense has gotten better. I mean, even the defense has gotten better. Like, we should be getting better as a team, but we're not. Going into our draft recap, I hope, nope, no receiver. Oh, we took a receiver in the 3rd round. Hold on. He's not great. Playmaker, I mean, 87 speed, not the fastest guy. We took a left edge. We took another center. This team is just bad at drafting. That's all that this comes down to that. This team's horrible at drafting. This kid's a 90 overall. Oh my God, Cam Ward's not going to be the starter by the end of the year. Holy shit, he's cooked. Yeah, this is the last year on his deal. This is a make or break year for him. Honestly, we're going to sim to the end of preseason just to make sure he's still starting, and if he's not, we're changing him to the starter. He's starting this year, and Cam Ward is still the starter. He's an 88 overall. Hartman's a 90, but he's still staying down there. I don't care. Devontae Smith is an 89. Keyshawn Boutte's an 83, and we still have DK, who's an 82. 83 tight end and Estrada. Tajay Spears has dropped to running back 2 behind Ellison. He is an 85, and we'll see. Maybe this is the year they put it together. They have actually been riding it out with Darren Young, and maybe this is the year he gets this team ready and sends them to the playoffs. So we didn't get fired again. We are in the playoffs. We went 10-7. We have a divisional game here in the wild card round for the first time in year 7. Cam Ward makes the playoffs. We'll go take a look at his stats, see how he was doing. What seed were we actually, real quick? I'll have to look at the bracket for that. Cam Ward had one of his better seasons, 3,900 yards, almost 4K, 29 touchdowns, 8 picks, 295 and 5 rushing touchdowns on 72 attempts. Receiving wise, Keyshawn Boutte is, again, he's been really good for this team. Almost 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. DK 942 and 6 touchdowns. Smitty at 847 and 9 touchdowns. So we'll see. Our first opportunity to get into a game here. It took 7 years in, and Cam Ward is finally in a playoff game. We'll play the full game. We'll go in and we'll super sim it, and we'll see if we get an opportunity to jump in. Maybe Cam Ward can will his team to a Super Bowl. I don't see it happening, but we got to go through Travis Hunter and the Jags first. We'll jump to the end of the game. We'll obviously stop it in the 4th quarter. We go up early. The defense makes a stop. It is a 7-0 game. We couldn't get it in the end zone again. And going into the half, it was 7-7. We force a punt, make it, get a field goal. We're down 14-10 here in the 4th quarter. Cam Ward has the ball. He is already inside the 30, down 4. I jumped in a little late on this, so Cam Ward has to go 29 yards. He's going to hand that one off to Ellison off the bat. That is going to be a no gain, a loss of 1 actually. 30 yards to the end zone for Cam Ward. 3 timeouts, a minute and a half left in the game. He's calling a little audible there. He's going to snap it quick. He's dropping back. It's all underneath throws, and that only only gains them the yard they just lost back. Estrada has 10 catches for 99 yards on 3rd and 10 here. Cam Ward will obviously drop back to throw. He's going to heave one up, and that's there, and he gets the shitty back blown out animation. Cam Ward has to show he's clutch. They are automatically offsides. Oh, he ran back. All Cam had to do was snap the ball. Snaps it. He's got time. He's actually going to heave that one up into double coverage, and it's incomplete. With all 3 timeouts left, there is still a chance that is a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1, and Cam Ward is going to get the ball back to go 94 yards in 38 seconds, but if they get tackled inbounds at all, it's over. 94 yards in 38 seconds with no timeouts. Oh, we got 1 timeout. They must have tried to throw it on a 3rd down. Okay, so we need a big play then here right off the bat. Cam's got to clutch up here and go deep, and he's just going to throw it underneath, and they're going to waste that 1 timeout. Yep, 34 seconds on the clock. Cam Ward ended up getting 11 yards there. It's a 1st and 10. Now he's got 84 yards to go. This would have to be a masterclass of a drive, and he's just going to throw it over the middle. They're going to run no huddle. It's going to run 18 seconds off the clock. It actually doesn't run any time off the clock, and he's going to spike it. 23 seconds left. We can't be throwing little dink and dump passes. You have to go for a big play here. No timeouts left. Cam Ward is actually gonna just again dump it off, and the game's over. They're gonna no huddle back to the line. He's gonna spike it one last time, and it's gonna give him one last shot. There's 8 seconds left on the clock when the spike goes off, and this has to either be a 68-yard bomb, and that's what he's gonna try and do. This is a Hail Mary formation. So Cam Ward, only 3 guys blitzing, and he throws an out route. He gets out of bounds, so now he makes it a 60. They gain 3 yards, makes it a 65-yard attempt instead of. You gotta chuck this one up. You can't just throw this one out of bounds. 3 seconds left, and a guy comes right through unblocked, and he throws it outside, and they only gain a couple of yards. And Cam Ward is going home in his first playoff appearance. Sim is so bad in Madden with that. I don't get clock management. I don't understand why it is the way it is. But no touchdowns and 261 for Cam. He may have had a rushing touchdown because I'm pretty sure it said he had 1 touchdown. Trevor Lawrence only 161 and 2 touchdowns, but they won. And Cam Ward did have a rushing touchdown, 5 rushes, 18 yards, and a touchdown. He did try his best. Receiving wise, Tyler Estrada popped off, 13 catches for 119. Smitty had 5 catches for 60. But yeah, just like that, we're on to year 8. We're actually on to free agency where Cam Ward could potentially leave. Wow, our offense was so much better that season. That's crazy. We had the 2nd rated offense in points per game. We're going to simulate to the offseason, see if they've given Cam Ward a new contract already or what the plan is there. See if he went into free agency and see if maybe we're going to a different team next season. And Cam Ward is no longer a Tennessee Titan. So that's a big deal. We got to go to a new team now. We'll go to NFL quarterbacks. Oh, that's not an option. Okay, we'll go one by one here, see where he could have went. Cam Ward is now the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. So we now go over to Arizona, where I am hoping that they still have Marvin Harrison Jr. The head coach over here is currently Griffin Murphy, who once again is a defensive coach. Cam Ward does not have had the privilege of playing with an offensive coach at all, and we have weapons on this team. I love this. So we have Glover at receiver 1, who's a 90. Marvin Harrison Jr. is still here at receiver 2. He's an 88. Cam Ward is your starting quarterback. Feliz at 85 at running back. A good line, other than maybe our center needs upgraded, and Trey McBride is still here. So we'll go through this draft, see what they draft. Maybe they'll end up getting a center for us. They draft a quarterback first in the 1st round with the 5th pick. We did draft another receiver. He's 74 with a 74 overall, 94 speed. No center though, so they're rocking with the 74 overall center. Why they draft a quarterback after signing Cam Ward, I don't know. We'll take a look real quick, see what his contract is with this team. Hopefully it's more than a 1-year deal. He is an 88 overall. He still has not progressed to superstar dev. He has been star dev this whole time, and now I think he's 31 years old. He's only 30 in year 8. Okay, so he's not. He'll be 31 after year 8, but we'll take a look here, see what his contract is. 3 years, not one of the highest paid quarterbacks, only making about average quarterback money. He doesn't have very high interest to stay here. Why he came here to begin with, I don't know, but Tennessee was apparently ready to move on. So we'll simulate to the playoffs here now that we're on the NFC side. I just saw right there, Marvin Harrison is actually a 91 overall. He lost 3 overall with a morale decrease. This is just how some of these go, man. Sometimes these guys just don't amount to too much. Like, I mean, and that's fully credited I don't change anything. Like, I could change it to make it boosted to where they make the playoffs every year and they have this crazy career, but that just wouldn't be accurate. Some of these guys are going to be #1 picks and they're not going to succeed. That's just kind of how it goes. And that's kind of why I like doing this, because you kind of get to see what Madden thinks will happen, I guess. I don't know, because the AI is very shitty in Madden. So the coach gained XP, which means we must have made the playoffs, I'm assuming. Yes, we did. We went 11-6. We're playing the Falcons in Arizona, though. They have to come to us. We'll take a look. Cam Ward is not in the top 3 in the stats and awards. Cam threw 3,800 yards and 29 touchdowns with his best passer rating by far with a 114.7, 29 touchdowns to 5 picks. Again, one of his better years he's ever had. Rushing, he had 251 and 3 touchdowns. Receiving wise, DeAndre Glover, 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr., 921 and 8 touchdowns. Trey McBride had almost 800 yards with 4 touchdowns. Off to a rough start. We let them score first. We've had to punt a couple times here. In the second, we do get down the field and tie the game. Cam does make it a game. We're down 10-7. Cam has the ball right now in the 4th, and we actually had to punt it away. We'll go slowly here, see if the defense can force a punt. We have 1 timeout left on a 3rd and 3. They get the first down, and we don't even get the jump in. Cam Ward is going home. They lose 10-7. 148 and a touchdown for Cam. Michael Penix, 112 and a touchdown. He threw 23 passes. I mean, it wasn't a horrible game. Rushing, he had 4 carries for 26 yards. Bijan Robinson kind of put the Falcons on his back. Receiving wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. had 52 yards. DeAndre Glover, who was receiver 1, had 15 yards and a touchdown. The rookie, 36 yards. Trey McBride, 33 yards. But once again, back to the drawing board. We go home in the wild card round. Cam Ward is yet to be able to get past the wild card round. We'll sit in the draft here, see what maybe they do. This offense is pretty good. I don't really know what they need to add to it other than maybe a center, because we did have a 74 overall center last season, but it didn't really seem to affect the offense too much until the playoffs came. Let's see, we did end up going wide receiver in the first round. 90 speed, 74 overall. We drafted a quarterback in the second. He's a 70 overall. Free safety, another wide receiver here in the 5th. He is 92 speed and is a 70, so a pretty good draft for us all in all. Griffin Murphy has this team poised and ready as we go into year 10? I keep losing track of what year we're on. It's year 9. Cam is 31 years old now. It just hasn't been a great career for him. He has 2 years left on, or 3 years, 2 years after this season left on his contract, so we'll be here till he's 34. We still have Marvin Harrison Jr., we still have DeAndre Glover, we still have Trey McBride, and the rookie has progressed to a 79, but Cam Ward is only an 88 and still at star dev. He just hasn't progressed the way you'd want. We'll simulate to the playoffs. I'd imagine this team can make their way back there. The question is, can we win a playoff game? We gained XP. That's always a good sign. We didn't get fired. So this season, we went 6-11, but still didn't get fired, so not a great year. The team had a bit of a fall off after a 10-7 year where we went to the playoffs. Cam Ward had a bit of a fall off himself, 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns to 10 picks. So once again, back into double-digit interceptions with a 99.8 rating. Rushing wise, he had 384 and 3 touchdowns. We were not a good running team. Receiving wise, Marv led the team in receiving yards with 946, but only 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Glover and Trey McBride both had 9 touchdowns with 800 for Glover receiving and 629 for Trey McBride. The sophomore season for Junior Smith ended with 507 and only a singular touchdown. And we are on to year 10 just like that, where once again Cam Ward is starting to age and we are getting past the years of him potentially growing into a Super Bowl winning quarterback. We will sim to the draft. We'll take a look at the team, see what maybe we need. We lost Trey McBride. That's not good. Cam is up still an 88 and 89 with a morale boost. We still have Feliz. Who did we sign that was a big deal? It was a safety, I'm assuming. So this year and then next year, and then we are once again a free agent where Cam will be 34 and heading into year 12. We'll simulate the draft. I think if realistically we need anything offensively, it's another tight end to fill the Trey McBride big ass hole that's now left in this offense. We took an edge, we took a quarterback. The edge is actually 78 overall, 70 overall center, and other than that we really didn't do much. The 72 overall quarterback doesn't really feel worth it when you have Cam Ward, but hey, who am I? Here in year 10, we'll simulate to the playoffs. So in 10 years, we've made the playoffs twice and we've lost in the wild card both times. So Cam Ward is not having a hot hot, I mean, not even, I can't even say hot start anymore. He's just not having a hot career. And we gained XP. Again, I go back to good sign. We are back in the playoffs playing the Atlanta Falcons again. They knocked us out 2 years ago, and now we have another opportunity to get our revenge at them. We only went 9-8 this season. Cam Ward, though, 3,800 yards, the most touchdowns he's thrown at 33 and 5 picks. A 115.8 passer rating is the best we've seen out of him so far. Receiving wise, DeAndre Glover was our #1 receiver. He had 17 touchdowns and 1,167 yards. Marv had 751 and 2 touchdowns. Junior Smith had 59 and 7 touchdowns, and the tight end replacing Trey McBride had 63 and 4 touchdowns. 17 touchdowns out of DeAndre Glover is wild. We score first. Atlanta has to punt. We punt it right back. Another punt. Driving down the field. We're up 21-0 at halftime. 21-3, 21-10. Do not throw this. Oh my God, it's 21-16. Cam gets him down the field, ends the game. 21-16, 155. Not a lot of yards, but 3 touchdowns for Cam Ward. I wonder if the defense had a big game. We did have 1 interception off of Michael Penis. Rushing, Cam Ward 6 for 11 yards. Fleas had 63 yards. Receiving wise, who had the big game? It looks like Marv had 36 yards. That's the most receiving yards we had. Junior Smith had a touchdown. Oscar Clark, who is the backup tight end and a 61 overall, had a touchdown, and then the running back had a receiving touchdown. So again, a great game. We end up winning 21-16, and for the first time in his career, Cam Ward is on to the divisional round. And now we have to go into Philly, where they were 15-2, and obviously probably the #1 seed. This has the potential to just be a complete blowout. None of their top 3 are the main guys that you'd think they are, because we're 10 years in. Jump to the end of the game, see if Philly just runs it up on us. It's 7-0 that quick. 7-3, they go right back. 14-3, they had to punt, and they're just going to run it up. 21-3, Cam could lead a comeback. 21-10, defense forced a turnover. Cam couldn't get it in the end zone. 21-10, not even a close game. Philly blows us out and sends us home in the divisional round. 146 and a touchdown out of Cam. I'm assuming an interception. No interceptions, but JP Wright, the quarterback for the Eagles, threw 2 touchdowns and 145. Rushing, the running back carried him. Jose Greenard is, I guess, the new Saquon Barkley. 12 carries for 138 and a touchdown. Our rushing defense just wasn't there. They allowed 12 yards a carry. And other than that, the new tight end had a pretty good game. Junior Smith with 34 yards. Marv only had 18. So we were just shut down completely offensively that game. We'll see if as he grows old, Cam Ward becomes a journeyman quarterback traveling around to different teams. And yep, Cam Ward is no longer an Arizona Cardinal. Where did he end up? Let's find out. Cam Ward is now the starting quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Griffin Murphy's amazing NFL coaching career comes to an end as we go over to the Bengals, who I'm assuming don't have Zach Taylor anymore, but maybe they still do, but I doubt it. Christopher Torres. Was this guy not fired from the Titans? So Cam Ward, with a morale boost, is a 91 overall, so he's still an 88. We have not been able to get him above an 88. Riles is an 89 at receiver 1, Craig an 85 at receiver 2. We have an 84 running back in Barden and an 88 tight end in Zimmerman, and the offensive line looks great. This team offensively is stacked. First year with the Bengals, a pretty good team. Like I said, this team should make the playoffs. They had a good defense and good offensive weapons, so the only way they don't is if realistically the pieces just don't mesh well together. Maybe Cam Ward doesn't fit this offense. So we gained XP. Again, I go back to that's always a good sign we made the playoffs. We went 13-4 and are the #1 seed in the AFC. 8th rated passing offense. So Cam Ward had himself one of his better years so far. We'll take a look at our stats. 4,000 yards, 39 touchdowns, a 121.6 passer rating to only 4 interceptions on the 39 touchdowns. 1,150 yards rushing. Cam had 337 and 3 touchdowns. Receiving wise, we had 2 receivers over 1,000 yards with Byron Craig, who had 12 touchdowns and 1,118 yards. Cam Riles had about 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. Joe Castro, the tight end, had 8 touchdowns and 952 receiving. And we now have to play the Bills, who I'm assuming still have Josh Allen at quarterback. And but we're the #1 seed. They have to come to Cincy. I don't see Josh Allen up there. That's actually a good sign for us. Jumping to the end of the game, we started out with ball. Buffalo goes down and scores first, and we're not looking good. We've just punted a bunch of times. We're down 14-0, 21-0 in the third quarter, 21-3, and it's looking like it's about over unless Cam Ward can lead some miraculous comeback, and he does not. 21-10, it's the final score. You end up the #1 seed. Cam Ward has the best season of his career, and once again, he struggles in the playoffs. He's the Phillip Rivers of the new era. And now on to the last year of his Bengals contract. We'll sim to the draft of year 912. Looking at the lineup, Cam Ward is up to superstar dev, 92 overall with a morale boost, so he's still an 88. Star dev or regular star dev receivers a 90 and an 86, an 82 overall running back and an 89 tight end in Zimmerman. We have two really good tight ends, and the offensive line is still good. So realistically, what we could probably use is some D tackles here in this draft. Other than that, offensively, I don't think there's really a whole lot we need. Maybe a receiver 3. In the first round, we ended up taking a center with the 28th pick. He's actually a 77 overall, and we did take a wide receiver 3 who's a 74 in Leo Jenkins. He's a slot specialist. He's a 93 speed receiver. We took another running back. He's just not getting over that hump. No matter where we go, no matter how good the team is, he cannot win the big games when they matter. He always seems to choke it away. I didn't look at his stats after that playoff loss. Okay, good sign. We gained some XP, kept our job, and we actually missed the playoffs going 8-9. We had the 18th rated passing offense, 29th rated scoring offense in Cam Ward's last year under contract here. 3,700 yards of 24 touchdowns, a big fall off, still only 5 interceptions, a 106.8 passer rating. Rushing, he had 369 rushing and a touchdown. Receiving, we didn't have a single receiver over 1,000 yards this season, almost with Cam Riles. He was 16 yards short with 7 touchdowns. 953 and 5 touchdowns for Byron Craig. The X Factor tight end, 883 and 9 touchdowns, and then the actual starting tight end, 614 and 3 touchdowns. And just like that, Cam Ward is going to be back into free agency. We're going to simulate to next year's draft, see if he ends up staying in Cincy or maybe plays for a 4th team. Cam Ward is still here. He is down to an 86 with a 2 overall morale boost, so he's still an 88. So we are slowly seeing that fall off start. We are going into year 13. He's 35 years old. He re-signed only for 1 year, worth $7 million. He never really made the big bucks at quarterback that you'd expect out of the top tier guys. He always stayed around that middle of the pack, and we will see what happens. I mean, in the draft, we could definitely use a running back. In the draft, we did end up taking a D tackle with the 14th pick. We didn't take a center, so we are rocking with a 70 overall center this season, and we will simulate through year 13. It seems like the fall off is starting for Cam Ward. All right, so we did gain XP. We'll see what that means. We are back in the playoffs at 9-8. We barely squeeze our way in, and we have to play the Patriots in the wild card round. Once again, Cam Ward over 4,100 yards, one of his better seasons, 37 touchdowns, a 7 INTs, a 122 passer rating. Rushing, he had 303 and a touchdown, so very good year for Cam Ward in year 13, showing that he still has it as he's pushing 35. 1,300 yards for Cam Riles and 10 touchdowns. Leo Jenkins, the receiver we drafted a season ago, 915 and 14 touchdowns. Byron Craig, 843 and 7 touchdowns. Zimmerman, the starting tight end, at 586 and 5 touchdowns. We must have lost the X Factor tight end. The defense lets them score first. The offense couldn't get it in, and then we score a field goal. It is 14-3. Cam Ward needs to get them in the end zone. It is still 14-3. It is now 21-3 in the fourth quarter, 21-10, 28-10, and we get blown out. Cam Ward is just a certified playoff choker. Straight regular season quarterback, basically Lamar Jackson, 188 and no touchdowns. Jason Riley is a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots, and he only threw 157 and 2 touchdowns. That's after having the number 9 rated passing offense, by the way. So we'll sim to the draft. Cam Ward only had 1 year on his deal, so once again, he's an unrestricted free agent going into the offseason. We'll see what he decides to do. And the Cincinnati Bengals don't have a single quarterback signed to their roster, so where is Cam Ward? He's now an Atlanta Falcon at an 88 overall, and he is still the starter there. He's a 98 morale. He's an 85 overall, actually, as we go into year 14. He's going to be 36 years old. We'll go over to Atlanta and see if maybe this is where he finally puts it together at the end of his career. They went 9-8 last season, so they bring in a quarterback like Cam Ward, hoping that he bumps them up to 11-12 wins. He's an 85 overall, still has superstar dev, technically an 88 overall running back with superstar dev, 86 receiver 1, 85 receiver 2. We took a left tackle round 1, a receiver round 2, a tight end round 4, so the offense got a little bit of help, but none of those guys were anything too crazy. We will simulate on to year 14 and simulate to the playoffs and see what happens. Good sign again. Coach gains XP. Are we in the playoffs? In the playoff bracket, we are not. We're not there. We ended up going 7-10 at the 30th ranked passing offense, so we were horrible. 3,300 yards, 25 touchdowns, 4 picks, a 106.9 rating. He cleaned up his turnover problem as he got older. 333 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. Receiving wise, not a single receiver over 1,000 yards, but we did have Rankin with 940 and 7 touchdowns, Ortiz with with 10 touchdowns on 900 receiving. On to year 15 and see if Cam Ward decides to rock it out for a 6 team or what the plan is from here. There is so many defensive tackles, holy hell. Quarterbacks, Jackson Dart's actually currently a free agent, and there's Cam Ward, currently an 83 overall and a free agent. Yeah, he's coming back. There we go. So an 84 overall Cam Ward is now the starter on this team. We lost our receiver 2, and Peck is a 74 overall, now our receiver 2. So this team, again, is still about in the same place it was last year. See if Cam Ward can lead him to the playoffs in year 16. No XP gained, 6th and 11, 23rd rated passing offense. So Cam Ward, again, did not have his best season. 3,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, a 104.7 rating, and back into double-digit interceptions as he's getting old. 74 overall second stringer at 11 touchdowns on 900 receiving, and our number 1 receiver had 12 touchdowns on 739 receiving. So Cam, I think we're at the point where Cam is about done. Yeah, 37 years old at the end of year 15. We're getting to a point where I think Cam Ward is about ready to call it a career. We'll go take a look at his career stats now. So the career stats for Cam Ward aren't great. 55,607 yards, which isn't bad. I mean, it's just he's played a long career, but he hasn't had any outstanding seasons. 429 touchdowns and 147 interceptions with an average of a 103.4 passer rating. So we'll send him to the draft in year 16, see what happens. I don't imagine he's going to re-sign with the Falcons. He'll probably end up going into free agency or potentially retiring because he is going to be 38 years old during this next season. And there is no more Cam Ward here, as Bernard is now the starting quarterback of this team. Nothing, it looks like, over there on the side about Cam Ward retiring. We'll go take a look over here and see if he did retire. Right here, Cam Ward has called it a career after 15 years in the NFL. So we did look at his career stats. It was a good run. Again, never made it past the divisional round, could never get to a championship game. He did win 1 wild card game in his career, but that's about it. He reached the divisional round twice. One was a first round bye that they got smoked in. So that is where we are going to call it, guys. I do hope you all did enjoy, and like I said earlier in the video, if you guys did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. As always, it has been fun. I will talk to you all in the next one. Peace out.